Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Kehzad and you're watching Cooking with Kehzad episode 2. And today I'm going to show you how to make a garlic bread from scratch. So let's begin. The first is all-purpose flour or 200 grams of maida. Next up is 100 grams or of wheat flour or normal atta. Next up is butter, cheese, some more cheese, and obviously garlic because we're making a garlic bread. Next up is 6 grams of yeast for 300 grams of flour. Then some finely chopped onions, some sugar, some salt, and finally some seasonings. You can also use the Domino packet that they give along with the pizzas. The first step is that we're going to boil some water. Make sure that you don't overboil the water. As soon as the water is warmed up, turn off the heat because we're going to add in the yeast into this and we don't want to kill the yeast. So as soon as the water is warmed, I'm going to add in the yeast into the water. Next, I'm going to add some sugar into this. This is 1 tablespoon of sugar that I'm adding into 6 grams of yeast. Next, I'm going to dissolve everything and let this mixture rest for at least 15 or 10 to 15 minutes so that the yeast can develop. As you can see, after 10 minutes, the yeast has now become bubbly and this is how we know that it's ready. Now I'm going to mix all the dry ingredients together. So the first is 200 grams of maida that I'm going to add into a big bowl. Next up is 100 grams of wheat. You can also just add 300 grams of maida if that's what you like. It is completely up to you. I wanted to mix things up so I added 100 grams of wheat flour. Next I'm going to add a pinch of salt. You can also add more salt. It is up to your taste. Now I'm going to whisk everything together and now it is time to add the yeast mixture or yeast water. Make sure that you add it little by little and don't add it all at once, otherwise it will become very watery. If you feel like you've added too much water, it is alright if you add flour to even it out. After you've mixed this dough well in the bowl, it's now time to use your hands and get your hands a little dirty. So now the first thing we'll have to do is we'll have to develop the gluten. This is important. So knead it as much as possible. So as you can see, currently it does not resemble a dough. So after 15 to 20 minutes of kneading it up and getting a healthy workout done in the process, it will start to resemble a proper dough, and this is when we know that it is ready for proofing. So after it has started to resemble a proper dough, just form it into a ball and add it into a bowl. After you add it into a bowl, it is now time to cover it up with oil. This is important because we don't want the dough to dry up. So cover it with a nice layer of oil, of any oil that you have available, and then put it in the fridge for around 4 to 5 hours. I forgot mine overnight, and so yeah, this is the time where you let it proof for 4 to 5 hours. You can also leave it overnight, it is fine, it's no problem, it is completely up to you. And as you can see, after being in the fridge overnight, it has dried up a little, but it has also doubled in size, and that is what we needed. So now what we are going to do is we are going to remove the excess air from it. So we are going to knead it up, and as you can see, the dryness of the dough has gone after I kneaded it. And it's alright if it's a little dry, just knead it up and the dryness will go away. And once again, this is now the time for second proofing. This time I'm going to leave it overnight, but I let mine rest for I think around 6 to 8 hours, and as you can see, after 6 to 8 hours it has once again doubled in size. And this time I will knead it up once again, and then I'm going to divide it into 4 equal parts. Now this is an optional step. After dividing them into 4 equal parts, form them into a ball and let them proof for 1 more hour. It is up to you if you want to let them proof for another hour. This will be helpful. It is not compulsory to let them proof once again. I let mine rest for another hour because I wanted to proof them even further. And yeah. So now after removing them from the fridge, it is time to make the first garlic bread. The first garlic bread is a Domino style garlic bread, so flatten your bread out. Don't flatten them too much. Now it is time to prepare your garlic butter. So add in some butter and chopped garlic or crushed garlic, whatever. Let the mixture boil at low flame for 2 to 4 minutes, and make sure that you keep stirring the mixture because we don't want to burn the butter. After the garlic butter is ready, add a generous layer of garlic butter onto your dough. And after you've added enough of garlic butter, it is now time to add in your seasonings. The first is the peri peri mix that I'm going to add in this. The next seasoning is an Italian seasoning. It has oregano and other stuff and other herbs. So make sure that you add generous amounts of seasoning into it because we don't want the garlic bread to be bland. After adding enough, I'm going to fold them into half and I'm going to shut them close by pinching the sides shut. After I've pinched the sides close, I'm going to add garlic butter on top, and then I'm going to add seasonings that I'd shown earlier, and I'm going to add a layer of crushed toast on top. If you have corn maze available at home, you can use corn maze. It will give you a more crunch into the mixture. It will give you a more crunchier taste. And after I have applied all the seasonings, it is now time to add the cuts just like Domino's has. So I'm going to cut them into 4 or 5 pieces. Make sure that you don't cut them all along. You just need to make small slices, and after that it is now time to pop them in the oven for 7 to 8 minutes or until they have turned golden brown in color. As you can see, after spending 7 to 8 minutes in the oven, they are now ready. And that's it. This is the first garlic bread. This was the Domino style garlic bread. And moving on to the second. The second is also inspired by Domino's, but it has cheese, so it is kind of like a cheese burst. Add in generous amount of cheese into the dough, onto the dough. And after you've added cheese, we're going to apply all the seasonings that we had earlier shown. And after you've added all your seasonings, once again fold the dough and pinch the sides close, and once again apply garlic butter on top. Then apply your crushed toast or corn maze, and then apply the seasonings, and then turn them over, do the same thing, and then once again make all your cuts. And after you've done that, it is now time to pop it in the oven for 7 to 8 minutes or until it has turned golden brown in color. After 7 to 8 minutes in the oven, it is now ready, and as you can see, it has turned a nice golden brown color. And yeah, that was a cheese pull, which was a fail. And that's it. That was the second type of garlic bread. Moving on to the third. The remaining 2 doughs that you have left, pop them in the oven for 7 to 8 minutes or until they're nice golden brown in color. As you can see, after 10 minutes in the oven, they have turned nice golden brown. After removing them from the oven, let them cool down for 5 minutes. After they have cooled down, we are going to cut them into equal slices. And as you can see, I'm cutting them into slices. After you've cut them into slices, it is now time to toast them in the oven for 2 to 3 minutes to make them a little more crunchier and remove any humidity inside of them. And after 2 to 3 minutes in the oven, they are a little bit more crispier right now, so I'm going to add in the garlic butter on top of it. After I've added garlic butter on one side, I'm going to turn them over, and I'm going to repeat the same process once again. So I'm going to turn them over, and I'm going to add garlic butter on the other side. After I've done this, I'm going to turn them over, and this is now time to add all your seasoning and everything. So I'm going to add finely chopped onions into it, and after I added onions, I'm going to add a nice amount of cheese on top. After I've added enough cheese, it is now time to add all your seasonings. The same seasonings that I've showed earlier, I'm going to add the same once again. So the first seasoning is peri peri and the second one is Italian seasoning. After I've added the seasonings, it is now time to pop them in the oven for 4 to 5 minutes or until the cheese has melted and they look crispy. So that's it. This was the third type of garlic bread. And yep, that was it. The first one was a Domino style garlic bread, and the second one was a Domino's inspired garlic bread which had cheese in it, and this was the third slider kind of garlic bread. And that's it. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Like, share, comment, and subscribe for more. See you later.